There are so many ways in life that we limit our enjoyment, isn't there? There's so many ways that we say, oh, if I only had this, I'd be happier. If I only had this type of money, if I only had this type of a partner, if I only had this type of a body, I'd be so much happier in life. Have you ever walked down that street? I know I have. Things are going to be great when. Things will change when. When I get that promotion, everything's going to be different. When I have $1 million in the bank, everything's going to be different. Well, I'm going to talk today about body size. How many of us over the years have said that, well, I don't have the best boyfriend, the best husband, the best wife, the best girlfriend because, well, I'm just a little bigger than the average person, or I can't really enjoy the art of sensuality because I'm bigger as a person. But what we're really saying is my self-confidence and my self-esteem is so low that I don't know what to do with myself. For the past 30 plus years as a counselor, a minister, and so much more, a number one best-selling author, we've helped people of all body sizes learn to come to acceptance. And I'm going to talk today about body size and sensuality, or body size and sexuality. And I'm going to read an article from my new book. And it's in one of the chapters of a former client of mine that decided to open up and share her story as a very large woman, very overweight, who never had a clue that she could have an incredible sensual and sexual life with a man. And so she shut herself down mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm going to read the article right now. Now, this is out of our brand new book, 50 plus flavors of erotic love. It's one of the many stories in here, and the way this book came about is that, as my publicist TJ says, it's 50 Shades of Grey meets therapy. And it really is. But I want to read this story about a very overweight woman and how her life radically changed once she changed her mindset, followed the tips that I gave her in the book. The end result is awesome. Wait till you read this. The subtitle of it is Body Size, Body Image, and Erotic Sensual Play. This story is so heartwarming. Enjoy it. I'm one of David's former clients, a very large woman who is absolutely frightened out of my mind to talk to a man about sexuality, erotic desires, and sensuality at 200 pounds overweight. I've struggled with body image my whole life. I never believed I was sensual, pretty, beautiful, or sexual at all. I obviously have had low self-esteem ever since I was a little kid. So coming to a man who has an amazing reputation in the world of erotica, helping couples to save relationships, helping singles to find love was one of the most proactive things I've ever done in my life. And she's referring to when she came to me for work. When David asked me why my sexual history was and what it was, how I felt about sensuality and sexuality, I had to be honest with him. I have never worn lingerie. I rarely ever wore jewelry. I barely knew how to wear makeup. I consider myself a very large, overweight, fat woman, and the chances of me becoming a sexual being was absolutely zero. Until David. One of the first things we worked on, which really made me happy, was body image. David had me to start to look at different parts of my body with admiration and love. Something I thought he was crazy to ask me to do at first. But as I became more and more comfortable with following his lead, I actually started to feel sensual. I went out and bought perfume, some jewelry, and even lingerie, and would walk around my house talking to myself about being a sensual, sexual, erotic human being. Through the exercises and writing he gave me, I started to become very comfortable with expressing my sexual desires in writing because David wanted me to know what I desired so that when I did meet a man who was interested in me, I would be able to express to him what those desires were. I even bought myself a choker, several of them with different words on them. And then I actually went out and bought blindfolds and a vibrator that I had no idea how to use. But I continued to follow David's advice. And within 6 to 8 weeks, I was a full-blown sexual woman, desiring sex for the first time in 20 years and looking for a man that would enjoy being with a bigger woman. And it happened quickly. David told me that once I changed my attitude and started to dress in a more sensual way, that life would turn around on a dime. And it did. Within several months, I had met a man. At first, I was super nervous because he was of average shape and I'm a very big woman, but he loved my sexuality. He would look into my eyes and tell me how gorgeous I was, how sexual I was, how sensual I was. We started having the most erotic lovemaking sessions with me in lingerie, with me with blindfolds on. Even being restrained was an absolute joy for me. I believe that no matter how big you are, how tiny you are, this lifestyle all starts in the head, in the brain, in the mind. David's teachings have brought me to a level of excitement about life that I've never felt ever since I was born. If you question this program, stop it right now. You deserve to have the sensual and sexual connection you've always wanted. I finally got mine, which means that you can easily get yours as well. You know, that story is, there's 100 stories in this book, 50 plus flavors of erotic love. There's so many stories in here just like that. People that had no idea that they were deeply sensual individuals, men and women. Men and women that had no idea they were deeply sexual individuals. And because of shame and guilt over her body size, but other people, it's because of religion or their upbringing or society, they're so afraid to be open and honest with their sensual and sexual lives. Listen, the reason I wrote this book is because 80% of couples in our country alone are in dysfunctional relationships and marriages. It's really true. It's incredible. So many people are not fulfilled on a sensual, sexual, or erotic level. Not mental, they're not fulfilled. Emotional, they're not fulfilled. Spiritual, they're not fulfilled. And we wrote this book because we want to change that. I also have a program that I've worked with several people on, which is how we got the stories in the book. It's an 8-week program. It's one-on-one where I work with people from all over the world, helping them get to the core of their sensuality, of how to express it, of how to talk to their partner about it. If you want to work with me one-on-one to get more intimate, to find that deeper level of erotic sensuality in your life and within your partner's life, if you're in a relationship, contact me at talkdavid.com. Or if you're single and you want to prepare yourself like this woman did for your next relationship, contact me at talkdavid.com. And don't forget, pick up the top-selling book at Amazon, 50 plus flavors of erotic love. You're going to love the stories. And then on top of the stories, I give simple advice on how to take your level here to here to here to here. Contact me. I'm so glad you're with me here. We are going to change the approach to sensuality in the world with the book and the course. I'm David Essel. I'll talk to you soon.